had to realize then that I refused to give up, that I had young people looking up to me that I had to make decisions for to move forward no matter what.
Welcome to another episode of the Operator Mindset with Howie Zales. I'm Howie Zales. Our show is powered by Act I. And Tina, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Howie. I'm very excited to be here.
No problem. Thank you. I know, let's dive right in. I know you had a bunch of seizures like 20 years ago. Your employer was not happy with your medical condition. You take it from here.
Yes, so I started having seizures, and ultimately the test results showed that they were caused by stress, actually. My doctors were requesting accommodations. So my employer said, "Well, we want her to see our doctor." After he submitted his reports, I received a letter from my employer basically saying, "Well, you need to quit or retire." And I only had 2 weeks to make a decision. So after 20 years of service, I said, "Well, I'm not going to quit." So I chose to retire. So they said, "Well, if you retire, I had to wait to see if I would qualified to see if
Mhm.
I could retire disabled because I didn't have enough years of service. And I was too young, actually. I was only in my early 40s. And so I had to wait for them to determine if I was eligible to retire disabled. So retiring disabled meant I was going to take a hit to my income, which was only 43% of my income. So my lifestyle at that time was going to take a major hit as well. So
How did that how did that leave you feeling emotionally?
wow, Howie, my emotions were all over the place. But I would say anger was the number
Mhm.
one emotion I
I
was
could
feeling
understand that.
because I, gave my all to my employer. I believe I was a very good employee, and because that's, basically the type of person I was. And
Right.
how dare you treat me this way? And
Now,
but I was confused. I was hurt.
with this potential financial free fall, how did that leave you feeling?
Um, Man, it lost, completely lost.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because I didn't know which way to turn, what to do. I had no savings at that time.
Right.
And I just didn't know which way to turn. You don't plan to get sick, you don't plan to lose your job. And life was actually good for me at that time. I had a mortgage on a 5-bedroom home. I had a car note on a truck. I enjoyed large vehicles. And of course I had bills, and I was a
Right.
responsible person. I paid my bills on time. I had really excellent credit, and I'm looking like, well, how am I going to pay my bills at this time? How am I going to continue to feed my family?
On our call together, you told me you had to max out your credit cards to make things work. When did you realize that that could only last for so long, that it might not be obviously a long-term solution?
Months later, after they finally made their decision that I did qualify to retire disabled, and of course, I was already looking at less than half, of what I was making at that time.
Mhm.
And then I realized, I had to swallow my pride.
And
And
what did that look like?
that
What did
bank,
that force you to do?
whoo, Howie. My kids looked up to me. And,
Mhm.
so I had to have a conversation with them that life was really changing at such a rapid rate. And then realize that, even bankruptcy was an option, although temporary. And, but it was an option, at least to save my home and my vehicle at that time. And, again, to put food on the table.
Right.
And then after that, I came across the opportunity of what I actually do now, coming into the financial literacy industry.
Amazing. I think this is a good opportunity to bring my co-host Athena, who I know you've met kind of in person, in onto our show, and I know she's been listening our entire time. And Athena, what are you hearing Tina say?
Oh, Howie, thank you for bringing me in. Tina, what my level 5 listening is telling me you're really saying is this: you didn't just lose a job, you lost the identity you had built over 20 years. The person who showed up, gave everything, paid every bill on time, held the 5 bedroom home together. That person got handed a 2 week ultimatum through no fault of her own. And the anger wasn't just about the money, it was about the betrayal of a contract you believed in. I give my all, and you protect me. And they broke it. And then, and this is the part that really lands, you had to look your kids in the eyes and tell them the world was changing. That takes a kind of courage that most people never get tested on. What I'm hearing underneath all of it is that you didn't fold. You swallowed your pride, you made the hard calls, and then something found you, or maybe you found it, that changed the trajectory entirely. So, Tina, here's what I want to ask you. And take your time, on a scale, how different is the person sitting here today from the person who got that letter 20 years ago? And what made the difference?
Wow. I had to realize then that I refused to give up, that I had young people looking up to me, that I had to make decisions for to move forward no matter what.
You're a
And
fighter.
the positions, yes, and that even the positions that I held, that I previously held with my employer, that I was also in those positions where I helped people previously also. And those were the qualities, um, that I also had where I've helped people. And that I also saw that in my parents, that's where that all of that came from. That my parents, um, were they built a family based on perseverance and
So what I'm
building.
hearing you say, what I'm hearing you say is that you learn to reinvent yourself. I've done that through my entire career, right? Pivoting when you have to, reinventing yourself. After retiring, you found the United North Education on LinkedIn. What made you click? What about that opportunity spoke to you, Tina?
Yes, United Wealth Education. Um, the fact that it was something about helping people, and the fact that it had to do with restoring credit, because clearly my credit took a big hit,
Right.
and it was an opportunity to learn more about credit and how to rebuild credit while also earning money. And I definitely needed to earn money, more money at that time, considering that I was only able to earn 43% of my income once I had to leave my job.
What was the biggest thing that you learned that you wish you had known earlier?
Definitely the educational part, again, about credit.
Hmm.
I learned a lot about credit, how it's calculated, um, how it's used, um, and that there's so much more to it, that there's actually a financial literacy industry
Right.
That credit is not just limited to credit, that there is an entire industry out there that uses credit. That credit is not just limited to credit and about just
Understood.
having a high score.
You've been doing this for 7 years by now.
Yes.
Um, what does your business look like today in terms of clients, income, and impact?
Howie, the main thing is about the education for me, building relationships and educating people. Because just when I thought I knew about credit, my main mission is making sure people know what I know now and helping people to prepare for the unexpected. Because just like I didn't plan to get sick and I didn't plan to lose my job, look at what's happening in the world today.
Right.
People are more getting laid off than ever before. Stores are shutting down, prices are going up, but nobody's income is going up.
A
To be
business coach a
able
long
to,
time ago, oh, sorry, a business coach a long time ago told me always prepare for winter. Winter's coming, right? How can you economically prepare for it? Um, and winter being the analogy to could you be getting sick? Could you get hurt? Whatever it may be. But it's not smooth sailing for everyone all the time. And
Mhm.
it's how you deal with those bumps along the way and how you bounce back like you have a true inspiration to many, many other people.
Thank you.
Um, So you mentioned you're seizure free. I don't know if I disclosed this to you, but I also have seizures. I had one a lot of years ago, but it still, if I didn't take medicine, it would not be controlled. Still very abnormal EEG. So I understand your probably degree is more than mine, but I understand what you've gone through. Um, how take me through how it happened that you're now seizure free and how it changed your life and what do you see possible moving forward?
Well, the interesting thing is, Howie, um, I am not seizure free.
Okay.
I have had seizures from time to time throughout the years. Even when I lost my mom in 2021, right after her funeral, um, 2 days after her funeral, I actually had a seizure behind the wheel. The interesting thing about my seizures is I've had them all in my sleep. So for me, I don't even get warning signs because I've had them all in my sleep. But I did have two seizures behind the wheel. And even with that, there was no warning sign.
Understood.
I just went out
Mm.
without realizing I was going out. And then before you know it, there was an accident. Thank
Oh,
God I wasn't on the highway, they were local.
right.
And in both incidences, I happened to be coming up on a light.
Okay.
So the
So you were
speed
slow.
limit, yes, thank you, Lord. And
Yeah.
nobody between the two of us was seriously injured.
Thankfully,
So
thankfully.
yes, yes. And the first time my daughter was in the car with me, so I did have a witness to let me know what happened prior to it happening. And then again, the second time was 2 days after my mom's funeral. I was by myself. Um, and then I was coming to when the paramedics were addressing me in the vehicle. So memory of any time. And then the last two times I had them was a year ago. But they are somewhat controlled by medication.
Mhm.
Um,
I
so,
understand.
hopefully I can declare at
Yes.
some point
Knock on wood.
that I'm seizure free. But but still God is good.
Yes. Let's pivot into your
Yes.
business. Let's pivot. Let's talk about how you actually built your business. You told me you're on social media, all the different social platforms. You attend networking events, partnering with realtors, mortgage lenders, and do live Zoom presentations, and even talk to strangers that'll listen. That's a lot of activity. Walk me through a
Yes.
typical teen a week. What does that all that motion look like for you?
Yes. Throughout my day, whenever I go out, I leave no stone unturned. I enjoy because it's about building relationships. This
Right.
is important information that needs to get out. Um, and I'm, an overall friendly person. I enjoy speaking to people. So as a result, and again, this is just important information. So I'm in grocery stores, I'm in department stores, and I would just simply start a conversation, whether it's a compliment, whether it's the weather, whether it's an upcoming holiday, um, whether it's at a realty company, um, because I do home buying seminars, whether it's I'm checking out at a store, I'll speak to the
Right.
cashier. It's I talk a lot.
Let's dive into these online seminars with realtors and mortgage lenders. Are you speaking at their events? Are you hosting your own? And how do these partnerships actually work and look like?
All the above, Howie. I usually ask them if how do they help people, or do they have somebody that help unqualified um, clients? If they're
Hmm.
unqualified clients, is it because of their credit? If they have anybody to help them, if not, can we partner because I have a system that can help them? Well,
Amazing.
we'll start there, and if they don't, please let's connect.
I love your energy. But what I'm curious about, of all those channels and outreach that you just spoke about, the five platforms, the networking events, seminars, and random conversations at the checkout line, which ones are actually producing clients and which ones just feel like hustle and tiresome?
All the above. Because it took a while, because I still do deal with anxiety. I deal
Mm-hmm.
with nervousness. Um, I had to deal with getting through public, being really anxious about public speaking, dealing
I get
with
that.
no's,
Mm-hmm.
being anxious about getting no's. And I still get a ton of no's.
Um, if you could wave a magic wand and design your business exactly the way you want it, what would it look like? More clients, income, or what's your dream?
Um, well, I look to building a bigger team.
Mm-hmm.
And that would definitely bring in more clients because having more clients means that we would be helping more people, which is the mission of the
Right.
organization. Definitely, again, helping, the goal would be definitely helping more people. And of course,
Understood.
helping more people would give them the option of becoming agents, which will build the team, will ultimately definitely um, bring in more money. I mean, of course, who wouldn't want more money? Um,
Exactly.
but again, the foundation is, definitely educating people, because I would want them to learn, what I've learned. It definitely, really woke me up, and I'm
Right.
passionate about what I've learned. Um, and the
Oh,
learning the value, there's so much value in, the education of the financial literacy,
right.
and then having your own business, with the value that I've learned from it.
Amazing.
So it all
If
pretty much
someone
goes hand in hand.
if someone wanted to learn more about what you do, potentially work with you, how do they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Definitely by phone, first of all, definitely, which is
Great.
267-560-7657.
And we'll tag you on social media and all that stuff. Last question. So what's next for you? Where are you taking your business and what are you building towards?
Um, Definitely, I would like to take it worldwide, but our services right now are only available within the United States, which includes, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and Guam.
Right.
So, I mean, and even with that, that's, good enough for me as well.
And
But the good thing
what does your
is,
sales team look like?
well, the good thing also is that even though we have whoever, like we all have like our own teams, meaning whoever we bring in,
Okay.
but the whole United Wealth Education Organization, we're still are a one organization. We're still one whole team where everybody wants everybody to win,
Excellent.
if that makes sense.
Well, in total sense. Well, on that note, Tina, thank you for being on our show today. You're a great inspiration to everyone. I appreciate your time, and I feel like we're going to definitely do more together. And I feel like Athena can definitely help you in your business as she's helped me in my business. So, again, thank you. This has been another episode of the Operator Mindset powered by Act I. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.